So the one glaring hole still remaining on the Chicago Bears roster is a very highly productive pass rusher. And right now, there's a very unhappy, highly productive pass rusher out of Cincinnati and Trey Hendrickson. So there's been a lot of chatter about a potential trade, and maybe the Bears can get in on that trade sweepstakes. But a Trey Hendrickson trade could mean the end for Montez Sweat in Chicago. Welcome back to Bears Yard. This your boy Vipe. And yeah, things are continuing to heat up with Trey Hendrickson and the Cincinnati Bengals. He actually showed up to their facility today to do like a 25-minute press conference or so, where he just aired all the grievances that he had with the organization at this point in time. He talked about how he's not happy with them, about how they have not opened the lines of communication with him and his camp. He talked about how he is not going to play this season unless he gets his contract extended. So there's just a lot of animosity right now between Hendrickson and the Cincinnati Bengals. So obviously the talk has been the Bengals could potentially trade him. Now, will they trade him? I don't know. But if they do trade him, the Chicago Bears, of course, have been named as a potential destination for him, given the fact that we could probably do it. But it's not as simple as just trading for Trey Hendrickson. Number one, if you're trading for Trey Hendrickson, you're giving up some significant draft capital, probably maybe a second round pick, third round pick, and maybe a later round pick too as well. He's not coming for cheap. But not only that, if you trade for Trey Hendrickson, you have to have a plan in place to pay him or extend his contract. And he is going to be looking for north of $35 million a year. Yes, folks, he is a top tier pass rusher. He led the NFL in sacks last year with 17 and a half. He was second in the NFL in sacks in the year prior. So this is a highly productive pass rusher who has proven to get it done in the league. So he is going to expect his money no matter what team acquires his services. So are the Bears still going to be interested in acquiring him, even though knowing they have to pay him $35 million? Not to mention you have the aforementioned Montez Sweat on the roster, who you're still paying out of his 4-year, $98 million deal. But before I get into the Montez Sweat piece of this puzzle, if you want more daily opinionated Bears talk, bear down and hit that subscribe button. Now, about Montez Sweat. As I just alluded to, the Bears are currently paying him a 4-year, $98 million deal, which means he's making about almost $25 million a year. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't know if we're getting $25 million a year production out of Montez Sweat. Now, sure, when he came over originally in 2023 from the Commanders, he had 6 sacks he had 6.5 sacks while he was on the Commanders, and then he was traded midseason to the Bears where he accumulated 6 more sacks. So technically, in that 2023 year, Montez Sweat accumulated 12.5 sacks. But last year, that dipped way down to 5.5. Now, to be fair to him, he was battling injury last year, so that probably hampered the productivity on the field. However, Ryan Poles has come out this offseason and commended Montez Sweat for the hard work that he is putting in to prepare for this upcoming season. But Montez Sweat has never been a highly productive pass rusher. I mean, sure, he has some 6, 7, 8 sack seasons, but he's only had one double-digit sack season, and that was back in 2023. Again, last year he had 5.5. So if you're going to trade for a Trey Hendrickson, are you really going to hold on to Montez Sweat when you got to pay Hendrickson some $36 million a year, and he got Sweat back at 25? Now, the interesting thing is that the Bears, after this next upcoming season, could choose to let Montez Sweat go and not pay him at all, since his guaranteed money will have been paid by that point. So that is why I said at the beginning here that if the Bears were to trade for a Trey Hendrickson, it could spell the end for Montez Sweat, because if Montez Sweat has one of his Montez Sweat years where he does maybe, let's say, 5 to 8 sacks, are you really going to continue to pay him that much money when Trey Hendrickson is due for his money as well? It's just, that is a lot of money to be tied up in your defensive end part of the football team. Not to mention you're paying Jalen Johnson, you just extended Kyler Gordon. We are still talking about extending Joe Tooney, and you got DJ Moore making big money. So there's only so much money that can go around on this Bears team. And I don't know if Montez Sweat is going to be somebody that you want to continue to pay that type of money for the limited production if he continues to go down that path. And even if he somewhat produces this year, Are you still going to want to pay him $25 million? But let me know. Do you guys want the Bears to go out and trade for Trey Hendrickson? Do you think Montez Sweat is going to be a Chicago Bear past this 2025 season? Drop a comment. And speaking of comments, this brings up a comment from my man Jeep Guy. He says, seems like the schedule got a bit tougher. And he's talking about a couple of the Bears' next season games that were currently leaked. And if you want to know about those scheduled games for the Bears in 2025, hit that video right there.